Welcome to the Practical Mystic Show, where we bring you simple tips and techniques from around the globe to help practical people deal with extraordinary experiences. And now, your favorite scientist, shaman, and sacred clown, and also the show's host, Janine Bolon.
Hey, welcome to today's show, where we integrate the world of mysticism into the everyday life using tips, tricks, and techniques of ancient masters as well as modern millennials. If you see things, hear things, and feel things that those around you don't, then this is the show for you. Today's discussion is on that frequently mentioned topic whenever you start talking about spirituality and prayer and how you go about getting peace in your life. Frequently and often, you will start to hear meditation. Meditation seems to be the keystone to an internal life. So let's talk a little bit about that internal life. There's a freedom that comes when you meditate. It brings into your life a peace, and soon that is reflected in your external life. It really is difficult, though, if you're one of those very highly action-oriented people like myself, where it's kind of hard to see how just sitting in one place and doing absolutely nothing can bring about any form of a positive result. I mean, it is something that does occur, but it comes through practice. And because of this practice, because of this meditation, there's a series of side benefits that soon start to alter your interaction with your life. And it actually makes your life easier to manage. Now, first, just a little background on me. I live my life as an adventurer, and I crave as many different activities that I can experience without causing harm to myself or to anyone in my community. Now, because of this, each year I set about a goal that I want to define not only for myself, but what sort of interests do I want to engage in for the following year? So some of the questions I've asked myself in the past is, hey, is this the year that I learned to fly a helicopter? Or is it time for me to go kayaking on the New River in Virginia? What about picking up that ukulele that friend of mine gifted to me last year? How about I learn 3 new songs on it? These are the type of things that I'm always asking myself because I'm highly engaged in my life. But even with all this focus on the external activities I want to participate in, I have to say that some of my greatest adventures have been the ones of my own internal terrain. Now, the goal of mine is to live this highly experiential life. And this explains why I spent 34 years on a journey to meditate every day. Despite the many demands that I had an active career, I was raising a large family, I have 4 children, and I was highly engaged in community activities. I was in Boy Scouts, I was in Girl Scouts, and I had meditation groups. So I was very, very engaged. I had this single-minded pursuit, however, to find my own philosophical answers to life, the universe, and everything. You know, I'd been trained as an analytical biochemist, and I loved physics, and I loved cosmology. And so when I say that I wanted my own answers to life, the universe, and everything, seriously, I have Albert Einstein to thank for that, because he wanted to know the thoughts of God. What was God thinking when he created this world? And it wasn't said with the tone of, what was God thinking? It was more, what were the thoughts of God as he created this universe? So there are a slew of side benefits and effects from meditation, and it started to affect my life, even though my goal was really to figure out why the universe was set up the way it was. It was these unintended consequences that I want to talk to you about a little bit today, because they were such a significant and positive change in my own life. So with all the press and all the talk about meditation over the past few decades, I'm sure at some point you've asked yourself this single question: why should I meditate? Seriously, why should you do this thing where you basically, it kind of goes back to a friend of mine named Barbara, who said this one topic to me. She said, well, when people talk to me about meditation, I always go, don't do something, sit there. Meaning, you kind of have to do a 180-degree turn on your life when it comes to meditation. So what are the advantages? I mean, really, why should you personally meditate? Well, if you just meditate a small amount each day, it can be as little as 3 minutes, and then slowly work up to something more. But really, what are the benefits? So here we go. slowing down. Meditation allows you to slow life down so that you can focus on the most important person in your life. And as you know, that most important person is me. No, the most important person is you, right? But you really need to start, instead of hearing the word you, this is where English is a little crazy. Instead of hearing the word you really need to say, I need to start focusing on me. And for a lot of spiritual people, that sounds egotistical, but it's true. In order for you to create the life that you want, in order for you to have the clarity and the peace that you want, you really need to slow life down so that you focus on the most important person in your world, and that is you. How else can you hear that small, still voice within when you have so much stimulus coming at you from your five senses and your emotions? So you need to slow life down. It's only if it's 3 minutes in that moment of meditation that you do each day when you wake up and before you go to bed at night. The other thing that started happening to me, and remember, I was a scientist during the time when I was working in the scientific community, and I started receiving clarity. It was amazing how my thinking literally changed. And I think you deserve the clarity that meditation can bring to you as well. So in answer to that question of why should I meditate, because I want clarity in my life. In the highly engaged, busy lives that all of us are leading, it's important that we take a little bit of time to learn all that we are experiencing and notice the people and the events around us with a deeper attention, with a clarity of purpose and understanding. The effect of meditation and how it improved my own personal experience and lives and relationships with others, it was just incredible. The way I reacted to normal day-to-day stressors changed, and it was quite significant in a very short period of time. I was calmer and was much more relaxed, and because of that, my life got simpler. Now, the biggest thing that happened with me was quieting my own mind, and that's pretty impressive. I can think pretty quickly, and I can think a lot of thoughts in a very quick succession. And so one of the things that meditation did by its very practice was calming my mind down in an incredibly gentle way. It wasn't through the use of force. It wasn't because I had to. It wasn't due to any kind of work. And that is saying something because we work very hard in our brains, you know? We think a lot. And so the fact of meditation where I was slowly calming down, and it was done in such a gentle, relaxed way, required me to start implementing a structure so that I practice meditation every day. It would guide me into very thoughtful solutions so that my life began to have quite a bit of abundance in it. So what am I talking about? That I'm being very general here, I know, but really the power of changing your life in whatever way you're focusing on doing that, it rests on these very introspective sessions that meditation can bring to you. If you don't take the time to just sit and calm the thoughts and give yourself that 3 minutes in the morning and 3 minutes at night where you just do some deep breathing techniques and you meditate, you're not able to really decide what is in your personal best interest as you move forward, because there's so many other forces trying to control your thoughts for you or trying to control your life. And so for you personally, I cannot stress enough how important it is that you meditate. So you sit with the most important person in your life, which is me, myself, and I. That's what I tell people. It's like, I have a great time if I'm sitting alone. Everybody's like, oh, I'm so sorry that you were sitting alone. And I just kind of giggle because I'm not alone. I'm never alone. I'm with me, myself, and I. And I have a really great time in my own internal landscape. Anyhow, I think one of the best things that happened to me, though, for meditation was how it calmed down my emotional responses to things. Because face it, there were times in life where my emotions really would get the best of me. Anger, fear, there were certain times of high distress, overly excited about things, or people around me being overly excited. Even anticipation and eagerness were calmed so that it was manageable. I wasn't having these huge spikes of emotion. Instead, there was a calming, instead of having such a complex bag of flavors and reactions, like you have a big bag of jelly beans. Instead of me popping like 5 crazy different types of jelly beans into my mouth and trying to figure out all the flavors, what happened with meditation was it calmed it down so that as each emotion came in, I could digest it and appreciate it and enjoy it, each flavor of emotion. And yes, there are times where I'm not going to say I enjoy fear or I enjoy anger or enjoy distress, but when they would come to me, they would pass quicker. They would cause a less agitation to my peace and my state of mind because of the habit of meditation. The thing that happened was that over time, I was no longer on an emotional roller coaster, and I was more harmonized with the life that I was experiencing with the practice. The last couple of points I want to make is more about self-awareness and how you grow in self-awareness. In order for you to bring about the life that you really crave, you need to have self-awareness. That is the key. Now, the tool is meditation, but the key to changing your life to the way that you want it is self-awareness. And by learning more about yourself, and that's done through the meditation process, you'll be able to then make those life-altering decisions, and you're doing it while standing on firm ground. You'll really have a solid foundation. And it happens because you start examining the words that you're using every day. You really, as you think and as the words form and as you start speaking to people, you become more measured and you choose your words more carefully in your daily life. And you just can't help but make a better life for yourself as you make these small adjustments, not only to your behavior, but how you react to the world around you. Now, the last benefit that I want to talk to you about meditation was the one that really drove me. It was very much a personal one for me, which was I wanted to have a one-on-one communication with the divine. And so meditation really came to me because I wanted to talk and find out why the universe is the way it is. And I wanted to talk to the creator of the universe. And the idea of a God that was separate from myself didn't really work for me. And so as a scientist, I was like, any kind of program has an originator of that program. I want to talk to that originator. I want to talk to source. And that's what I started talking in my mind. I was like, I want to go to the source of the universe. I want to go to the source of my thoughts. I want to go to the source of my life. And as I was thinking about that in my meditation, that kind of communication started happening. The ability to communicate with the highest and best good that I could achieve was what my purpose was for me on this planet. And I knew that was important for me. And so to do that, I needed to get a bird's eye view on my life. And that was done by looking through, and I don't know how else to say this, but the only way I could do that was by looking through the lens of my soul or my higher self. It was kind of a form of super conscious communication. And it doesn't come about by my normal physical and mental communication and awareness. I knew I had to move into a higher state. Now, because I'm a scientist, I saw it as frequency. I had to be in a higher frequency. I was very used to looking at oscilloscopes, and I was used to looking at vibrations through instrumentation, and I knew that I needed to vibrate at a higher state in order to get that bird's eye view on my life. Now, some people call it intuition. For me, I like to talk about it as frequency or vibration. But I knew that the only way I was going to achieve that high level of frequency was to be able to calm the physical vibration and my emotional state and then my mental state so that I could literally float into that higher state of super consciousness. So my hope for you is this. As you move about your daily life, as you observe what are the words that you are using to describe not only yourself, but your particular life situation, what are the desires that you have moving forward? What do you want for yourself, your family, your community? Basically, meditation is what gives you that steady ground. It gives you that concrete that you can stand on so that you can express yourself from a firm footing. It allows you to create and express the changes that you need for your own life. So I encourage you, start meditating today. If you haven't been doing that, make a commitment to yourself that you are going to meditate every day, even if it's only 3 minutes. And if you're really time sensitive, sit down and get out your cell phone and set a timer for 3 minutes. You're going to just sit there for 3 minutes and calm yourself, or you're going to sit there for 3 minutes, breathe and listen to the air conditioner or listen to the heater. Listen to something that's monotonous, because what you're trying to do is calm all the sensory inputs. And the best way to do that is to focus on your breath or focus on something highly repetitive. Now, if you need some guidance on this, stop by my website and pick up a free copy of my meditation resource. I have a 7-step guide to meditation, and I think it will be very helpful to you as you move about your adventure, as you go about scaling those mountains of your inner landscape. I wish you the best of luck. So this is Janine Bolon of the Practical Mystic Show, wishing you a pleasant day and reminding you, stay grounded here on planet Earth, dear one, while you reach for the stars. So this is Janine Bolon of the Practical Mystic Show, wishing you, hey, have a pleasant day. And just one little reminder before I go with you today, make sure you stay grounded here in planet Earth. We love having you here, even while you're reaching for that higher inner landscape of super consciousness. Don't forget to keep your feet firmly planted on the ground. Have a great day.
This has been the Practical Mystic Show with Janine Bolon. For show notes, resources, and more, visit the8gates.com. Thanks for listening.